Greetings, internetizens. This is Elmerthien playing Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. In the last episode, we finally managed to accuse Darklaw of witchcraft. But that means that Labyrinthia apparently ran out of inquisitors. So the professor has to act as inquisitor. Also, we accused Darklaw of witchcraft because Kira fought her and draped that necklace off of her. He says he's here to convict Espela, but is he really? It's just his role as Inquisitor. The town square was to be the parade's final stop. I patrolled the perimeter to ensure nothing was amiss. As I passed by the bell tower, a pair of small footprints leading inside caught my eye. I went inside to investigate. I had my own reasons for not allowing any of those vigilantes to see me. I climbed the stairs up the bell tower and saw an intruder inside with their back turned. I proceeded to apprehend them. You apprehended the intruder? While I hold the position of High Inquisitor, there are often times when I must partake in various secret tasks, unbeknownst to the citizens of Labyrinthia. Of course, you're admitting to that now. One of those tasks being ensuring the security of the storyteller. Oh, you're one of his guards, of his bodyguards. Security? As such, there is nothing odd nor suspicious about my actions tonight. I see. Defender, you may now begin your interrogation. And the professor is making ellipses at us and staring at us with his Lego Man eyes. Nothing was amiss. You mean there was no immediate threat to the storyteller, right? Now you tell me, Defender. Surely you remember the final part of the story. Yeah, he's supposed to die. She must mean the part about the storyteller's death. There is little possibility of changing the outcome of what has already been written in the story. However, there are still those who would challenge the story and make an attempt at changing the inevitable. That is what I too think. So someone might try to save him? What's up, Maya? Did you notice something? You could say that. It's just, look at Kira. He's been looking down in the dumps since the start. Oh right, Kira. I honestly forgot she was still here. Not only that, she looks sorta scared too. You're right, we can't afford to forget about her. I wonder if Kira has anything else she could tell us. I've got to remember the question. Remember to question her the second I see an opening. And what were those reasons? They relate to protecting the storyteller. It was something I was to carry out at that particular time. Did it perhaps have something to do with what was already decided upon in the story? The storyteller's word is absolute, therefore. Any and all those who make an attempt to alter his will must be dealt with immediately. Excuse me, Miss Kira. Witness! Ah, yes. Figures. She really doesn't remember her own name. You seem to be deep in thought about something. Did you remember anything regarding the High Inquisitor's testimony? No, I'm sorry. Nothing in particular. It's just I'm a little disappointed in myself. Disappointed? I traveled all the way here to Labyrinthia in order to fulfill my mission, but all I managed to do was fail and end up being captured. Regardless of your own failure, Miss Gila, the storyteller did die as was foretold, did he not? Tonight, as the rain came pouring down over the town, I arrived at my designated location. Naturally, the bell tower was surrounded by guards on patrol. 10 to be exact. Oh, was that fire visible before? She must be talking about the vigilantes. Just relax. You'll be fine so long as you're wearing this robe, I kept telling myself. Little did I know I was wrong. But none of this would have happened if I was just a little bit more careful. Enough! I would be thinking more about atoning for your past crimes and less about what could have been if I were you. Is there anything wrong with Kila's testimony? Surely something. Hold on 1 second. About your testimony, Miss Kila. You were thinking to yourself that so long as you had your robe on, you would be fine. Yes, that's right, I was. So basically, you were wearing the robe the whole time you were on the top floor of the bell tower, is that right? Yes, I had it on the entire time. That is, until I was attacked. Then my robe was ripped off by the wind. Miss Kila, this is the first time we've heard any mention of this information. Is that so? I think I must have just forgotten. Your Honor, perhaps we should update this piece of evidence in the court record. Right you are. Oh, when she was attacked, very interesting. Lady Darklaw, please continue your testimony. Oh, or was it already covered in flour? Oh, I wonder why she didn't just come out and say that to begin with. Simple, that information was on a strictly need-to-know basis. And she was looking for an intruder. Need-to-know basis, huh? That sort of secrecy is pretty common, but usually they've got to have a reason for not disclosing the information to begin with. Darklaw was hiding this information for a reason. That's why we need to find out exactly what she was doing in that town. I've got to get her to tell us. Hey Nick, is it me, or do you feel like we're being watched? Yeah, tell me about it. I wonder what's up with the professor. Something must have happened. There's no way he'd turn on us like this. The professor has been very quiet so far. But surely, he must have noticed there's something that just doesn't add up with Darklaw's testimony. Anyway, there's bound to be something in this testimony that we can use. We just have to make sure we con this thing from top to bottom for any contradictions. That's right. You saw an intruder? So, the person you saw when you entered the bell tower was actually Miss Kira. The only problem with that is that it would have been impossible. What are you talking about, Defender? Miss Kira, or should I say, the witness, stated that while she was waiting on the upper floor of the tower, she was wearing her invisibility robe. Therefore, there's no way Miss Darkclaw would have been able to see the witness. Oh, you're quite right. Anyone wearing this robe becomes invisible. Right, but there is just one particular group that can see anyone dressed in this robe. And who is that exactly? Only residents of the Eldritch Woods are able to see the robe. If you're from the Eldritch Woods, then you'll have absolutely no problem seeing this thing. So, what you are saying, Mr. Wright, is that Miss Darkclaw here actually hails from the Eldritch Woods, is that correct? And that she knew this girl prior to tonight. That's right, Professor. What is this? Oh, the graphics are broken. A most impressive display, Mr. Wright. However, there is one detail that you appear to have overlooked. Something I overlooked? You say Miss Darkclaw saw something she should not have been able to see. However, the truth is that there is one other possibility as to what occurred tonight. Did he just say what I think he said? It's rather easy to work out. Quite simply, the witness was not wearing the robe in the first place. What are you talking about, Inquisitor? This witness has proven her memory of tonight's events to be quite unreliable. Do we need to interrogate the kitty cat? I believe that by the time she climbed the bell tower, she had in fact already removed her robe. You know, since human memory is unreliable. What? This as you say, Inquisitor. As you can see, Defender, your assertion is mere speculation at best. Your little witness here has been lying to the court the entire time. It's as simple as that. Objection. 1 second. The witness was quite clear with her testimony. Isn't that right, Miss Kira? I'm not sure. What? I mean, my memory is a little fuzzy. No way! It would appear there is nothing more to be gained from this line of questioning. Your Honor, I suggest we return to the cross-examination. A fine idea, Inquisitor. Well then, Lady Darkclaw, will you please continue with your testimony? As you wish. She's terrified. This is her boss she's supposed to testify against. Or that we want her to testify against. No matter how you slice it, Kira looks like she's definitely hiding something. If only there was some way of getting her to talk, huh, Nick? No matter what Kira says, Darklo just stays cool and brushes it off. Yeah, this isn't going to be easy, that's for sure. That's why we really need to set our sights on Darklo. If we keep doing that, then sooner or later Kira is bound to speak up and say something. Wow, Nick, that's your most dastardly devious plan yet. Alright, I know there's still a clue or two in this testimony somewhere, and I'm gonna find it. I should go back and double check her previous testimony. There have to be some more contradictions. Yeah, this is where she says she was wearing the robe, right? Yeah, how did you sneak past them? Do you think it could have been the Great Witch Bazel? I mean, the thought must have crossed your mind. Surely you anticipated some sort of resistance. While I hate to admit this, I allowed myself to act rashly without first considering the circumstances. So the second I noticed their presence, I took action. Never did I imagine the intruder would have as much strength as they did. Perhaps I should have gathered more forces to accompany me. However, at the time, I was not thinking straight. I assumed any additional help would not be necessary. But Lady Darklo, through your quick thinking and judgment, you still managed to successfully catch the suspect. Unfortunately, my lord, it was nothing more than pure luck. Exceptional results can only be obtained through exceptional thinking. Don't you think? Why are you looking at me when you say that? Being watched, eh? Oh yeah, the professor is watching us. The footprints. Maybe she was wearing the heels. Top of the tower, you say? Could it be this thingy? Nope. Did I forget to press this one? Those must have been Miss Kira's footprints from when she snuck into the bell tower, right? Indeed. The ground outside was quite muddy after the rain, so her footprints were easily visible. Right, according to the vigilante's testimony, they thought the footprints looked like foxes, but it turned out they weren't hers. That's right. Her footprint would have contained the mark where her stiletto had been. But the footprints I saw at the bell tower contained no heel mark at all. And you stepped inside those footprints on your way up the stairs so as not to leave your own and risk being detected, correct? Exactly. At that time, my main task was to ensure the safety of the town square. In doing so, it was of the utmost importance that no one knew of my presence there. Had the townspeople noticed your presence there, it would undoubtedly have raised some suspicion. Indeed, so naturally that is why I did not wish to be noticed by the vigilantes. Therefore, it was imperative that I mask any traces of my being there, even if it meant utilizing another's footprints. I see. A clever tactic worthy of the High Inquisitor herself. Is there anything off about her testimony just now? There's always something wrong. Miss Darklaw, I just noticed something in your testimony that's very relevant to this case. The defense requests you amend your testimony. You just can't help letting that ridiculous imagination of yours run wild, can you? The Inquisition has no objections. Very well, the witness will amend her testimony. There was no heel on the footprints, so as I ascended the stairs, I was careful to match my footsteps to them as far as possible. Miss Darklaw, what was your reason for going up into the bell tower alone? It is as I said earlier. I was in the town square to make sure the area was secure. Okay, but surely you had some inkling that Bezella might have been lurking around there somewhere, right? Wouldn't it have been a lot better if you went into the bell tower with some backup from the vigilantes? Defender, you witnessed the summoning of the fire dragon with your own eyes, did you not? 10 more people at my side would, against a power such as that, would only mean 10 more lives lost. She's got a point there. And besides, even if those 10 had been with me, their combined strength is nary that of even Barnum's annoying Matt. No objections here. Say, Nick, about Darklaw's testimony, I think I noticed something kinda fishy. Yeah, me too. It would probably be a good idea to give the court record another check just in case. No heel on the footprints. Do I present the footprints? Oh, that is a heel. Just a normal heel. The stiletto footprints are smaller, right?
Objection.
What I have here is a sketch of the footprints left at the bell tower. So tell me, Miss Darklaw, are these your footprints in this sketch? It would appear so. I would never mean to offend the hard work of Labyrinthia's vigilantes, but Tonight's task was mine and mine alone. Okay, when you put it that way, I can't help but notice a contradiction. What did you say? Miss Darklo, you stated the following. When you climbed the stairs, the footprints had no heel, so you tried to match your footsteps to them as far as possible. However, if you look at the actual footprints that were left behind, you can clearly see that not only is the heel present, but so is the entire foot. Well, there's a gap. If you were trying so hard to step on the footprints already there, then the footprints in this sketch shouldn't have any heel marks. That is very true. Although I do not think such a small detail is of much importance in the long run. I agree, it's a small detail, Your Honor, but that's not all I noticed. There was something very telling about Miss Darklaw's testimony. Telling, you say? She stated that she stepped onto the footprints that were already at the scene in order to disguise her presence. Now there's something strange there. Specifically, why were these footprints left at the crime scene in the first place?
Objection.
Mr. Wright. Yes, Professor? Tell me, can you show the court why this seemingly minor detail is odd? I can't exactly do that at the moment. Who can say whether or not these footprints are indeed worthy of concern? And if it is an issue, then what exactly are the implications? That, above all, is what you must answer, Mr. Wright. I do not believe you can assert that this is a blatant contradiction at this time. There he goes again, flexing that amazing brain of his. It should be anatomically impossible. That's enough. Miss Kira, is she rebelling? Lady Darklaw, how? How could you? How could you simply abandon us? How could you betray us?
Betray? Witness, what is the meaning of this?
Lady Darklaw, you are the mistress of the Eldritch Woods. You are the one responsible for handing us our tasks.
What?
He cut through the image. This wretched girl is nothing more than a detestable spawn of magic. Her words cannot be taken seriously. People of Labyrinthia, I ask you, what am I if not a loyal daughter of this fair town? No, you're lying, Lady Darklaw. When I was waiting up there at the top of the bell tower, I was most certainly wearing that robe. Lady Darklaw, you were also wearing a similar robe, were you not? Don't you remember? What nonsense. I haven't a clue what you're babbling about. I simply managed to sneak right by those makeshift guards. It was not the most demanding of tasks for someone like me.
Makeshift guards? Are they robots or something?
Yes, you're right. That would be true. If you'd been sneaking around by yourself.
By yourself? Witness, explain your...
Enough. Listen to me and listen well. Continue as you are, and I will see to it that this court be the last place in which you ever set foot.
You're cutting our feet off?
It matters not. The end is already nigh. After the events of today, I shouldn't even be here right now.
Miss Kira,
You're saying that Miss Darklow was not by herself at the time of the incident tonight? That's right. Lady Darklow was wearing the invisibility robe, and underneath that robe was a young girl passed out on her back. Of course, Darklow is in on it. Darklow brought Espella to the crime scene to frame her. What? A girl? Who could that be? Yes, it was the very same girl imprisoned inside that cage up there.
You mean Espella Cantabella? Order! Order! So the accused was carried up the bell tower?
Milord, there is nothing left for me to say. 'Tis the word of the High Inquisitor versus that of a witch. Tell me, who would you sooner believe?
Objection.
Miss Darklow, you of all people should be aware that this isn't a matter of believing or not believing. I'm afraid those are words that carry no meaning here. The only thing that carries any meaning here within the courtroom is evidence. Don't you agree, Mr. Wright? Yes, absolutely, Professor. Well now, things are beginning to heat up a little, are they not? Fine. Tell me, Defender, have you the means to prove this assertion? Do you actually think you can prove that I, the High Inquisitor of Labyrinthia, carried the accused into the bell tower?
I don't know.
From the looks of it, Miss Killer was supposed to keep quiet about Darklaw's little secret. But she couldn't deal with all of Darklaw's denials and finally found the guts to chime in. I can't let Killa's effort go to waste. I don't care what stands in my way. I'm going to find the truth. Your Honor, the defense wishes to present evidence proving that Miss Darklow did in fact carry my client up the tower.
Very well, Defender. You may present your evidence. Show us the evidence that proves Lady Darklow carried the accused up the bell tower.
Up the bell tower. Someone must have been at the top floor. Someone had to have both pendants. Is it this?
Take that!
Oh no. Damn it. Does it have something to do with this thing? Or is it somehow the footprints again? Wow. If she was there before Espella. I mean, what alternatives are there?
Take that!
What? There was something in your testimony just now that I'm not buying. And that's the footprints that were left in the bell tower. Did I not just finish admitting that those were my footprints? Where are Espella's footprints, though? Miss Darklow, you stated the following. There was no heel on the footprints, so as I ascended the stairs, I was careful to match my footsteps to them as far as possible. No heel. Or the heel was tiny, eh? Small and pointy. However, the reality is, the footprints pictured in the sketch actually do contain a heel. That means something must have prevented you from being able to tiptoe along the footprints that were already there. Oh, right.
Prevented? You mean?
That's right, Your Honor. Miss Darklaw, when you climbed up the bell tower tonight, so we're just assuming she's not that strong, you must have been carrying Miss Cantabella on your back, is that correct? If you remember, it rained quite heavily tonight. That means the stairs must have been quite slippery. With your 2 hands occupied carrying my client, there would be no safe way for you to tiptoe up the stairs without falling. That right there is the truth behind the footprints on the staircase.
Lady Darklaw, you...
Fine, I admit it. It is as you say. I donned the robe and made my way up the tower. But I was not alone. I carried both Espella Cantabella and her little friend up the tower with me. Little friend?
Meow.
That black-furred creature of hers. The thing is nary ever a second from her side.
Oh, she must mean Eve.
When I arrived at the top of the tower, I saw this girl already there and called out to her. I was very shocked to see the mistress show up in person like that. The girl's presence was an inconvenience, so I immediately put her to sleep with some chloroform that you confiscated from the lab. Believe it or not, it's just like you said, Defender. I used what remained of Belduke's medicine to put the girl out of the picture. And that's when Miss Kira put up a fight and pulled this pendant right off your neck, correct? That's right.
I cannot fathom it. That would mean this pendant actually belongs to you, Lady Darklaw.
Yes. I just have one question, Miss Darklaw. Why? Why take Espella up the bell tower? To frame her, obviously. Why render her unconscious? And why go through the trouble of sneaking past the guards? What exactly was your aim in all of this? I am in no way obliged to answer that question, Defender. What? What makes you say that? Simple. None of this has any relevance to the case at hand. That is why.
Objection!
Miss Darklaw, you rendered the witness unconscious and locked her up at the top of the bell tower. I'd say that is more than a little relevant.
Objection!
Your Honor, if I may, the Inquisition believes the defense's question to be irrelevant to the current case. What's your game here? Professor, what are you saying? Cute eyes. It would seem the defense has forgotten a very important point. Namely, the point of this, Mr. Wright. Pulls out a rapier. Huh? The aim of this trial is to find the identity of the Great Witch Bezala. Whether or not Miss Darklaw locked the witness at the top of the bell tower is hardly relevant to the purpose of this trial. Oh, this was about looking up the witness, not about carrying a spell there. But there is one thing that is very clear. Neither Miss Darklaw nor this witness could possibly be Bezella. What? If either one of the two were Bezella, then there would be no need for them to have used this robe of invisibility. They cannot use any magic. Therefore, it is inconceivable that either of them could be the Great Witch. A rather straightforward argument if there ever was one. At the time of the incident, there were 3 people present. Of those 3, 2 used the robe of invisibility to vanish from sight, leaving only one person, indeed, Miss Cantabella. With this in mind, the larger question is, who is Bezella? Is that not obvious? The accused, Espela Cantabella, is the only possible answer. Besides, the accused's voice was heard by all the townspeople, chanting the spell Grainworm. But what if she was brainwashed? Not so fast. I happen to think these witnesses are extremely relevant to this trial. Did you forget about Miss Kira? She supposedly took a one-way trip into that pit of fire over there. And yet, here she is, in one piece, testifying that she returned in order to kill the ruler of Labyrinthia, the storyteller. Then there's Miss Darklaw, who rendered the defendant unconscious, and proceeded to transport her up the bell tower. I'd say there's more than enough reason to investigate who these two really are, only to discover that they are not in fact the Great Witch Bezella. I'm saying there's a possibility that these two are somehow related to Bezella. The court will now announce its thoughts on the matter. Is it another long what? I must say, what Inquisitor Layton has stated certainly does ring true. However, Lady Darklaw, I have one question I must ask you. What exactly were you hoping to accomplish here tonight? I assure you, it was not my intent to deceive the good citizens of Labyrinthia. However, I must now reveal the truth to you all. What did she say? I didn't notice that braid before. You don't think Lady Darklaw is in league with the witches, do you? She can't be. She was the one that saw to that other witch's demise. Lady Darklaw, are you saying that you're... That's right, my lord. I am a shade. A shade? Lady Darklaw, will you please tell the court exactly what you mean when you say shade? Yes, of course. I grow weary of standing behind this bench. I will tell you all I can. What the heck is she trying to pull? Why testify about something that could potentially undermine your credibility? Shades live outside the realm of those who dwell within Labyrinthia. To them I am known as the Great Witch. Those that are put to the flames in the witch trials become shades, who live their lives in the woods. We exist to carry out tasks given to us by our mistress, the Great Witch herself. I am not a witch, nor am I a wandering spirit. What on earth? Hi, Inquisitor Darklaw! Do you mean to say that not only are you a witch, you're a dead witch, but that you're the Great Witch? Unbelievable! Lady Darklaw is the Great Witch? The Great Witch? Doesn't that mean she's Bezella? That's right. Lady Darkclaw is Bezella. I do hope you have not forgotten what we established only moments ago. It is not possible for Miss Darkclaw to be Bezella.
But Inquisitor Layton, surely the testimony just now proves it.
I am afraid that in the heat of such revelations, you have all misheard the information. 'Tis pointless. This is the extent of what the people in this town will believe. I believe the truth will become clear during our cross-examination. Don't you agree, Mr. Wright?
Defender, you may begin your interrogation.
Hold it!
Great Witch? Yes, that's right. However, I am not Bezella. The mistress to those who dwell in the Eldritch Woods is dubbed the Great Witch. Even if I wanted to be Bezella, I couldn't. As the ever so charming Inquisitor stated earlier, I cannot use magic. Miss Darkclaw, I have one question. What do you mean by live outside the realm? I mean just that, Inquisitor. We truly do live in a realm separate from this town. But Barnham can access it. Now surely one as intelligent as yourself has worked out the answer by now, no? Perhaps that remains to be seen, Miss Darkclaw. Regardless, this is something we cannot discuss with anyone. But it is something that the defense should be able to prove. That almost sounds like a challenge. By the way, Miss Darkclaw, since you're not actually a witch, why do you continue to be called that? To answer that, I must first discuss the true identity of the Shades.
Hold it!
So you're saying that the Killa here right now is a shade version of the Killa from before? Indeed, Defender. The girl has no recollection of her life prior to living in those woods.
What manner of witchery is this? Why, this girl, Kira the flower seller, was cast straight to the flames before our very eyes.
That's right, Your Honor. But as you can see, she didn't die. You see, there's actually a trick to the incineration device in the witch's court.
A trick?
Once the verdict has been delivered, the court attendants move the steel cage into position, after which it seals shut. Then, the cage is dropped down into a pit of fire. The bottom of the cage then opens, allowing the witch inside to escape unharmed into an underground passage.
If what you're saying is true, Defender, then what of this town's witch-purging history? What has been the purpose of all of this?
You and the knights have indeed been ridding Labyrinthia of witches. However, nary a single life has been taken in the process. That is the reality.
But you cannot truly expect me to believe such a ridiculous notion.
Your Honor, it's true. Who is this? Take a good hard look. It doesn't get any more alive than this.
Ah, it's you. Ayame! No, Ayame! You mean Ayasato Mayoi? That's her Japanese name. Well, it's actually Maya Fei, your forgetfulness. What the heck are you doing? Everyone's gonna recognize you, that's the point. Yeah, but seeing is believing, Nick. Now they have to believe you. When you can't present evidence, present a person. Do you see? Are you satisfied? All those found guilty in the witch trials lose their names, magic, and memory. They are then sent to spend their lives as shades in the Eldritch Woods. And the mistress of those shades is the Great Witch. As you can see, this girl too has become a shade. I have no more words to express my utter disbelief at this situation. That's enough. Shall we return to the testimony? Why do I have the feeling things are going to get a lot worse? This task you mentioned, were you acting on them this evening? Yes, I was told to come here and become Bezella. What? Wait just a moment, witness. Did you just say become Bezella? How absolutely dreadful. Why would anyone be given such a terrible task? Where have these shades come from? The underworld? Order! Order! I'm sorry. I don't know why I was given such a task. All I can do is follow the orders I am given. If I can do that, then I can return. What do you mean you can return? Such is the nature of the shades. Neither human nor witch. Theirs is an existence spent in the shadows. Each of the shades is given specific tasks. Then, upon successfully completing such tasks, they are allowed to return to Labyrinthia as brand new people. Recycling the townspeople, and sometimes abducting new ones, perhaps. But Lady Darklaw, how can they return as brand new citizens? Well, they have to be brainwashed, again, with the flower potion. When we already know who they are. For instance, we all recognize the former flower seller standing before us. Everyone's brainwashed. Now that, milord, remains a secret. But a secret you will come to understand sooner rather than later. Is that some kind of threat? Simply baffling. The one who gives us our tasks is the Great Witch. That would be you, Lady Darklaw. Oh magnificent one. Well, this explanation is wrought with much I cannot comprehend. I request that the witnesses add it to their testimony. Okay. Lady Darklaw was our venerable mistress. She assigned us with our tasks. She was the Great Witch. So, about these tasks, can you give us any other examples? A shade's tasks must never be discussed with others, no matter what. She says that even though she just finished telling us all about her secret task. Incidentally, do you perhaps remember?
when you arrived back in town to carry out your orders? And what was that thing with the bell? Well, not really. My memory is still a little fuzzy. Say, didn't Kira only just recently become one of those shade thingies? Still, I failed in my task tonight. Come to think of it, and Luke and I had our little run-in with Kira. I remember being blown clear across the marketplace. Was she supposed to blow something up? But I never saw any explosives or gunpowder. Maybe Kira was given the task of blowing you to smithereens, Nick. And we're done. Getting back to this testimony. I'm sure there's something here that just doesn't add up. You really don't have any recollection of your old flower-selling self, do you? I don't. When a witch becomes a shade, they lose all memory of their past life. They lose their memories? But why? And yet you still have some grasp of the concept of magic, do you not, witness? Let me spell it out for you. Magic does not exist in the Eldritch Woods. Oh, but there are actually lots of things back in the forest that I have not seen in this town. There are things there you haven't seen here, like the massive potion cauldrons, like really huge machines, that sort of thing. Huge machines, huh? There's one that spits out fire with such amazing speed, and then it expels these huge plumes of grey smoke. Machines that spits fire? Never have I heard of such a thing. Are you certain that these machines of which you speak of are not simply magic? You know, now that you mention it, I don't think anyone from this town can actually see those of us from the forest, because you're always wearing those cloaks when you enter the town. They can't see you? Could it be something like that robe? How can such a thing even be possible without magic? Miss Darklaw, if I may interrupt for just a moment. What is it, Inquisitor Layton? Through your testimony just now, we have all come to understand the process of how one becomes a shade. However, I was hoping you could perhaps elaborate on one additional point. Namely, what exactly is the purpose behind the shades? If you wish to know our purpose, there are certain other things you must first understand. Once you've done that, the answer should be quite clear. Isn't that right, Defender? The purpose behind the shades? Rest assured, you will not get the answer from me. As the saying goes, the witch is in your court, Defender. Usually it's the ball. You know, a tennis court? Probably got that idiom from some abductee. Sounds like Darklaw's challenging me to figure this out. Again, she's telling us to investigate stuff. Challenge accepted. There is but one true purpose for the shades that dwell within the Eldritch Woods. Miss Darklaw, what is the purpose of the shades? As mistress to the shades, I cannot disclose the purpose of their existence. Well then, since Miss Darklaw is unable to tell us herself, it seems we must rely on evidence instead. Evidence, huh? I do believe the shades could have something to do with that which exists in this town but ought not to. Something that exists but shouldn't.
Well, Defender, are you prepared to present evidence?
What now? Surely you of all people are aware of just how important it is to know your product before you try and sell it, no? Lady Darklaw, Phoenix is not primarily a bread maker. What? Yeah.
Hold it!
What do I present then? The grimoire? I was born ready, Your Honor. Something that exists in this town, but shouldn't. I think I know what you're getting at, Professor.
Defender, please present your evidence.
Yes, Your Honor. The purpose of the shades could be to make sure this particular thing exists in Labyrinthia.
Really?
This particular thing. I should just present the grimoire or something. You know, let's just present the biggest spell.
Take that!
Something that doesn't exist. I have a feeling no one is going to like the answer I'm about to give, and it will probably end up shaking this town to its core. And they've got machines. But I've got to tell them. The truth has to come out. This is a Professor Layton game after all. Since I arrived here in Labyrinthia, there's been no shortage of really strange events. Ignace, Dimir, Godor, Goldor, and now Grainworm. The mere command of magic is in itself a crime, is it not? In this town, witches are arrested and made to participate in witch trials. They are then sentenced to death by fire. But none of those witches actually died. That supposed death by fire wasn't real. And neither is magic. It doesn't really exist.
What are you saying, Defender?
The Eldritch Woods apparently contain some rather large machines, unlike anything that exists within Labyrinthia. Machines that emit fire and produce large plumes of smoke. To top it all off, the citizens of Labyrinthia are not able to see said machines. Well, they don't go to the woods, except for Zek.
It sounds like nothing more than magic.
Yes, that's exactly it, Your Honor. Miss Darklaw. Magic doesn't really exist in this town. That's the answer, isn't it? I'm saving here. I'll see you next time.